More. Going up are Auckland house prices, and no one can stop them. Not the government, not the Reserve Bank, not our own common sense. Figures this week show a 12% increase in house values over just the last year. A whole lot better maybe than having your money in the bank. Catch is, first, you have to own a home. With prices so high, how do you do that? Janet McIntyre reports.
They just keep going higher and higher and higher. You know, what if I'm out of the market for another year? Our money's going to buy even less.
Rebecca Thompson is desperate.
Lately, I think it is obsessive.
So how long have you been looking?
14 months now.
Really?
Along with her husband Matt and her 6-month-old daughter Eliana, she's obsessed with getting into Auckland's hot housing market, but she can't.
Yeah, I'm a full-time mother, a full-time wife, and full-time on Trade Me looking at properties, and there's just no time left.
So we have a real schedule for weekend. Basically, we are running to the first open home. We only stay there for 15 minutes because we have to go to the next one, which is at the same time slot. Run, taking some pictures, into the next one. And that's Saturday, Sunday. We have a little daughter, and I want to spend rather time with her. But, yeah, this is what you have to do then.
Every spare second I have, I'm looking to see, because I just think I don't want to miss out on the perfect house.
So why is it all so hard for Rebecca and Matt to buy a home? To buy what used to be New Zealanders' birthright, a home of their own. 3 bedrooms, a backyard and a mortgage. It all started with that bogeyman, the GFC, the global financial crisis, and fears fuelled by what happened in America that house prices here, too, were going to collapse.
People in New Zealand embrace the idea house prices in New Zealand are going to fall 30 or 40%.
Tony Alexander, BNZ's fresh-faced chief economist for 2 decades, sees it like this.
Because there was such a strong view that house prices were going to collapse, the first home buyers backed away. Why would I buy a house when somebody says I'm going to lose all my money on it in the space of a year? Investors backed away. But of key significance here is that the builders also backed away from the market, and it meant that 2 years ago the number of houses being built in New Zealand was at about a 4 or a 5 decade low. And now you've got about 4 years worth of young people on top of each other scrambling to buy a property. And the investors who put off buying for maybe 4 years, they're on top of each other looking to buy probably the same properties as the first home buyers. And so there's a massive period of catch-up spending going on at the moment, and it's meeting the shortage in supply. Prices go up.
And we've had migration.
Well, the migration is probably the very new thing. You look at the most recent 3 months, we're now running at about 15,000 net gain, annualised, as it were. The prices have risen strongly in the past 2 to 3 years before the migration flows have started. Now the migration flows have started.
More migrants, more buyers, so prices go higher.
And that's why from about 3 to 4 months ago, when people would ask me, you know, how long is this going to last for, I'd say, it's like the upturn in the housing market has barely started. Maybe there are 3 years left in it.
First call at $500,000.
I sell at $1,550,000. Going, gone.
I was surprised. I'd picked it at being much lower than that.
Second call, 473.
The prices are just going crazy.
Yeah, it was beyond our expectations for sure.
It's almost like the value of the property is irrelevant based on the power of the sort of emotional nature of the auction.
At $2,545,000, just another $5,000 at this level, you'll hardly notice it, sir.
So immigration, undersupply, weak construction, pushing prices up in Auckland over the past 4 years, 36%.
565, it is going. Gone to you, sir. Congratulations.
Basically, you go along and your heart's pounding and your chest and you're nervous and you think, I've seen this house less often than I've tried a pair of shoes on, and I don't know whether I want to buy a pair of shoes after 2 tries, and you've gone through a house and you're spending, you know, 600 or 1,000 and...
Look, if you're spending less time buying a house than your shoes, you should stop. You should stop and think, because...
Economist Shamapil Jacob, not a homeowner himself but a shoe lover, urges caution, especially to those entering the market for the first time.
You should spend a good amount of time understanding the risks you're taking. Housing is a really big financial decision, and it should have the gravity of that decision when you go out looking for a house. A house is a really big investment. It's a massive commitment.
If you think all home loan rates are the same, check
cheap money
with all the bells and whistles.
Get it now.
BNZ not only offer this very special rate,
The banks can't wait.
Get a free 42-inch Sony Bravia LED TV
to cut a deal.
for 6 months. Start asking.
You'll get an iPad, or you're going to get a trip, or you're going to have a free this or a free that. And of course, you're going to pay for it with your mortgage in some way. But what we're seeing, I guess, is banks just wanting to make sure that they get as many customers to their door as possible. If you go to some of the bank websites and use their calculator, you put in your income as $100,000 and you'll be surprised at how much they were willing to lend you.
How much?
So quite often, if you put in $100,000 of gross income, they will lend you between $600,000 and $700,000. And if you work out how much of your income will be required to pay the mortgage, it'll be somewhere between 60 and 70 and 80%. How do you live with those kinds of pressures on your income?
900, welcome to the bidding, sir, at $900,000 and we're away.
Seriously cashed-up buyers are keeping auction rooms busy.
1 mil 35, 40, mil 65.
Barfoots, with 40% of the Auckland market, report prices for May up 12% on the same time last year.
Right, $1,065,000. Sold to you, sir, congratulations.
Rebecca Thompson was keen on number 29 Sion Place on the North Shore. A three-bedder with a backyard in Birkdale, but she had competition.
Strategic bid at this level, 611.
There was another couple that were possibly slightly younger than us that were bidding seriously.
620, good bid.
Rebecca bailed when she reached her limit and thought it was all over.
621.
A couple of ladies, of Asian ladies, came in and they kept saying +1, +1, +1, and watching that I could read on the other couple's faces the disappointment because they knew they're just going to run out of money.
623. 623. 624.
And raised again.
625. It is going. Sold here. Congratulations and thank you once more to our underbidders.
To what extent do you perceive Asians competing with you?
Oh, I think, as you saw today, almost all of the house auctions were won by Asians. And I think it gets to the point where you start getting a little bit desperate and hope that you'll find a house that has 44, because it's apparently an unlucky number for Asians, that you think, well, this one might actually be one that goes at an affordable price because they're not interested in it.
So you're actually looking at numbers of houses to see what might be a lucky or unlucky number in Asia?
So I wouldn't say that I look exclusively for houses with 4s in it, but I certainly think that I've got a better chance of getting one in the long run.
And a half, 506 and a half, 507.
Asians pushing up the market?
650, 660.
Are they really?
What we're seeing in our auction rooms, about 40% of the sales under the hammer are going to Asian buyers. Now,
Peter Thompson of Barfoot & Thompson, which has the lion's share of Auckland's real estate market, has been keeping track of what buyers look like, not necessarily where they're from.
Now, that's hard to say. Are they New Zealand-born Asian? Are they Asian people that have moved to New Zealand with permanent residency? Or are they, in fact, offshore Asians?
But he is sure of this. Among his highest-grossing Auckland salespeople, 20 out of 25 are of Asian ethnicity.
What does that say?
They work very, very hard. They work long hours, whereas the traditional Kiwi would most probably finish at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. These people work to midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, so they are working very long hours.
A BNZ survey of real estate agents throughout the country showed 9% of sales were to overseas buyers. And this man welcomes them.
I was giving some property consultancy advice to a Chinese student, just 21 years old. He's bought 3 properties in Auckland, freehold. And I asked him, why have you bought these 3 properties for a combined total over $5 million? He said, well, Auckland properties are cheap. This is
cheap? Auckland cheap? Lawyer turned property consultant David Whitburn.
When we look at some of these apartments in central Beijing and Shanghai and Shenzhen and the like, they're often in excess of $500,000 US. So to buy a similar quality apartment, similar sized apartment in Auckland, New Zealand, they're thinking, goodness, these are actually cheap, these are undervalued. So
David Whitburn says overseas investment helps, not hinders, the housing shortage.
We've seen capital being brought from overseas that can help plug the gap, because a lot of people have good money from overseas and they're prepared to commit that and to develop, to create more stock and create more supply for the much-needed housing market in Auckland.
But it drives prices up.
It does, because it does increase demand as well. So there is a bit of a catch-22 there.
Up next, how much more can we afford?
I think that could be over 30% more growth from where the house prices are now.
And how much debt is too much?
I'll tell you, I owe over $1 million.
There's nothing like the rush of someone new.
I want details, lots of details.
Morning. Learning their cheeky secrets.
Who knew that he had this thing about aprons? Oh, look at the time.
Showing them off.
Meet a new client. Pleasure's all mine.
Maybe not entirely yours.
Finding out who they really are.
Oh, sorry, Frankie. I need to rush off. What did he do?
Packed to the rafters, 8:30 tonight on One.
6 out of 10 people who have sensitivity don't do anything about it. I think people want a fast solution that just fits into their daily lives. Try the 60-second test with Sensodyne Rapid Relief. Rub it into the sensitive part of your tooth for 60 seconds. Go and try ice cream. You're going to find you've got a lot less sensitivity. And in addition to that, with twice daily brushing, their sensitivity is going to be relieved long term.
Save big on lounge suites at Harvey Norman. Up to 60% off selected lounge suites. Or our new range of everyday low-price lounge suites, like the Jetson Corner Suite, only $9.99. Deals on lounge suites, now at Harvey Norman.
Are you tired of endless chopping, slicing and dicing? Well, now you can do it all in a fraction of the time. Introducing Nicer Dicer Plus, the all-in-one and one-for-all food preparation station. Precision German engineering lets you slice a whole potato in a second. And not just one, but 11 different ways. Chop an entire onion in no time with no tears. Or make a complete fruit salad in less than a minute. It's all you need to slice and dice like a professional. Nicer Dicer Plus is now available at these leading retailers.
Toyota Field Days deals now on. And with every Hilux, Hi-Ace or Land Cruiser 70 purchased, we'll throw in a $3,000 Still Combi package. Toyota, New Zealand's toughest range.
If you're Māori and you're 18 or over, it's your choice. Whether you want to be enrolled to vote on the general roll or the Māori roll. If you haven't decided, time is running out. If you're still not sure what to do, contact us now. Māori roll or general roll. It's your choice. He aha o whakaaro.
If crystal clear vision is important to you, then don't settle for any old lenses. Pop into your local Physique and see the difference the latest technology can make to your eyesight.
I can see the difference.
I reckon what's great about a farmer's market is produce that's fresh, local, carefully picked and full of real taste. And that's why I love using these Watties New Zealand grown, pick-of-the-crop fruit and veg. Produce from our own doorstep, freshly picked at its peak by local growers who really care about quality. The result? The best taste for you at home whenever you want, any time of year. Perfect for dishes like this. All-in-one Italian roast chicken using Wattie's pick-of-the-crop tomatoes from sunny Hawke's Bay. You'll find the recipe on leaflets in store, in Women's Day and on our website, where there's lots of other ideas using the Wattie's pick-of-the-crop range.
They can handle the bizarre.
Very unusual day for us today.
They can handle the dangerous.
So it's definitely cocaine.
But nobody was prepared for her.
Yep. You have a fine to pay, ma'am.
You want to cut my neck?
You want to sit here all day?
Yeah, why not?
Then, a neighbourhood robbery.
I believe one's still in the house.
Escalates into a deadly game of hide and seek.
So he knows where we are. We don't know where he is. He could have a gun, he could have a knife, he could have anything.
Border Security and The Force from 7:30 Monday on 1.
If you're just about over Aucklanders banging on about house prices, and let's not forget Christchurch with its own mini boom, listen up.
As Auckland prices and Christchurch prices continue to rise, we will start to get some of those gains spread to the rest of the country as the investors look for better yield and as some of the first home buyers realise, well, for their first property, they're going to have to move, somewhere else in New Zealand and start out there, as it were. So this will slowly spread to the rest of the country.
But those of us choosing to stay in Auckland or move to Auckland are choosing one of the most unaffordable cities on earth. Our houses cost us 8 times our average income, meaning some of us will never pay off our mortgage. And still, we can't help ourselves.
I've yet to see the evening seminars starting up. And I got an email from somebody just 3 days ago saying they'd just heard an advertisement on an FM radio saying, come along to our evening seminar on property investment. We will tell you the X secrets of investing in property. Now that is only just starting.
To register for the next free Property Apprentice event, text ticket to 244 or visit propertyapprentice.co.nz.
We see property as being potentially the lowest risk investment that you can get.
Sign up for this $8,000 coaching course and you're on your way to becoming a property tycoon.
Talk about this. You can actually buy property for no money down. So we teach a number of different strategies of how to buy property without having a cash deposit. So it is possible.
Sounds like you're selling the impossible dream.
I know. I know. It's not. I mean, we've all done it. So this is what we're all doing. We're all active investors now.
So Great North Road rental inspection.
Nick Irvine is a protege of the course. Just 32, single, a Navy petty officer, she spends most of her life at sea, the rest of it doing rental inspections.
Oh, yep, it's still here. So I own 3 investment properties in Auckland, as well as my own home.
So, I'd like to get that panel replaced because that's just going to rot.
Nick's goal, to own 10 rentals before she's 40.
How committed are you at the moment? Can I ask, how much do you owe?
I'll tell you, I owe over $1 million.
That's a lot of money to owe.
It is a lot of money to owe, but it doesn't make me lose sleep at night. It's all, if I had to sell up right now, I would come out on top with everything paid off, no problems, no worries or huge debits or anything like that.
How many of you came to learn how to build a rental portfolio?
People starting to feel that they were missing out on something easy, and so it's not greed, I think, that motivates people. It's a fear of missing out, and once that becomes your motivator, you do want to make a transaction as quickly as possible, and you risk maybe signing up for something you haven't given enough thought to.
I looked at it and went, I really would like a builder's report. And
this week, Rebecca and Matt are revising their own goals.
Would you recommend putting in a pre-auction offer on a house? I
think it is a good idea. It can catch some of the other buyers unaware. They might not have their financial pre-approval ready to go, but don't necessarily make it your highest offer.
Instead of a large family home, they're considering starting smaller, plus getting an investment property, and later trading up to their dream home.
It looks like it keeps going. At first we were like, it's the location we really, really want to be on the North Shore, and now it's sort of, well, the money, what we're getting for our money is ridiculous. Maybe we need to look further out.
I hear Southland is very cheap.
The well-shod economist Shamabil Yaqub, Bangladesh-born, New Zealand-raised and educated, has a question for everyone in or thinking of being in the market.
Do you actually know what you're doing to your finances when you take on the risk of buying a house? How many people do the sums? What am I paying for this house? What is the true cost of it over the lifetime? Is it really worth it? Can I manage it? That would be a very good first step.
Have you done that yourself?
Yes, I have, and that's why I haven't bought a house.
You've deliberately chosen to rent and not buy a house?
We've chosen not to buy a house because from an investment perspective, it doesn't stack up. You know, we save the difference. We've worked out that it costs us half as much to rent as it would to buy the same home. So we very actively save the rest and put it into investments that my portfolio manager manages for me.
So does it make more economic sense to you to be renting rather than buying?
It does for me. At some point in time, we'll probably buy a home when my wife tells me to. But I also know that when I buy a home, it's not for financial reasons, because it's there for a home. I will still need to save for my retirement. I will still need to have savings. And I think that's the difference. If you've taken that view that you're only going to invest in property, you're going to put all your eggs in one basket, that's the fear that I have, that too many Kiwis are making that mistake.
Good times for some, tough for others. There's plenty of money to be borrowed right now. But be warned.
Can we expect to be borrowing even more than we are now?
Most definitely. As house prices rise, people are going to be borrowing more, and the riskiness of New Zealand's net international position is going to be increasing.
It can keep going a lot further. I think that there's still more growth on the upside. I think that could be over 30% more growth from where the house prices are now.
I don't know exactly what will happen, but if it does keep getting away on us, if house prices keep rising and escalating, you can confidently predict that there will be an accident in the future.
By accident, what do you mean?
That house prices will fall, that we will have something like what has happened in the US, something like what has happened in the UK. What we saw there, house prices fell by like 30% from the peak to the trough. That's really painful. For a lot of people, that's the difference between retiring and not retiring.
And if a crisis like that looms for New Zealand, the Reserve Bank won't be sitting on its hands.
Let me just throw in there to scare some people the fact that the last time the Reserve Bank raised interest rates, the floating mortgage rates got to 10.9%, and the time before that, in 1998, it was 11.3%. Now, I don't think we go that high this time around, but you should add 3% onto the mortgage you've got at the moment and ask yourself, could you still afford it?
It's going! It is! So, congratulations.
So an accident waiting to happen. Ominous, isn't it? OK, next, one of the greatest and